Folks, most men think a kiss is just a physical move. It's not. A kiss is a psychological signal, and when it's placed wrong, attraction fades instead of deepening. Here's the situation many men face. You feel chemistry, she's close, the moment seems right, but when you lean in, something feels off. She stiffens, pulls back, or the energy cools afterward. You didn't do anything outrageous, you just missed what her nervous system actually responds to. Let's be honest, my friend. Women don't open emotionally through force or speed. They open through safety, timing, and subtle intention. Most men focus on lips and ignore the emotional map underneath. That's why intimacy feels inconsistent, confusing, or fragile. In this video, I'm going to show you how specific kissing zones quietly trigger trust, attachment, and desire without pressure. Not techniques, not performance. Psychological leverage rooted in Stoic restraint and emotional control. This is about knowing where connection forms before arousal follows. When you understand this, intimacy stops feeling risky. You stop guessing, you stop overthinking, and she starts relaxing into the moment instead of resisting it. This understanding changes how you approach closeness, confidence, patience, and emotional leadership forever inside. I'm not here to comfort you. I'm here to help you see what most men miss, and why slowing down creates far more pull than rushing ever will. Let's get into it. Number 1. Why kissing is emotional first. Folks, most men misunderstand kissing because they treat it like a physical act when it's actually an emotional signal. Before a woman ever experiences a kiss through her body, she experiences it through her nervous system. If that system doesn't feel settled, safe, and open, no technique in the world will create intimacy. Let's be honest, my friend. Women don't open through pressure. They open through emotional permission. A kiss is not an action you take. It's a response to an emotional state that already exists. When men rush toward lips, they skip the real doorway. Here's a real situation. John is 52. He's been seeing Emily, 46, for a few weeks in Boston. Conversation is good. Chemistry feels present. One evening, John leans in too quickly because the moment feels right to him. Emily pulls back slightly. Nothing dramatic, but the energy shifts. What John missed was not timing. He missed emotional readiness. Contrast that with another example. Michael is 55. He meets Laura, 48, in San Diego. During their time together, Michael slows everything down. He maintains eye contact. He listens without interrupting. He allows silence without filling it. Laura begins to relax. Her posture softens. When the kiss eventually happens, it feels natural, not invasive. That difference started emotionally, not physically. Let's be real. A woman's body follows her emotions, not the other way around. When she feels emotionally seen, her defenses lower. When she feels emotionally rushed, they rise. Kissing simply reveals what is already happening inside her. Stoicism explains this clearly. Marcus Aurelius wrote about acting in harmony with nature instead of forcing outcomes. Emotional connection has a natural rhythm. When you rush it, you break trust. When you respect it, intimacy deepens on its own. Many men think confidence means moving fast. It doesn't. Confidence means being comfortable waiting. It means not needing to escalate to feel secure. That calm patience communicates leadership at a deep level. Another example. David is 49. He reconnects with Sarah, 44, in New York. Instead of focusing on physical closeness, David focuses on presence. He stays grounded. He doesn't rush moments. Sarah later tells a friend she felt unusually safe around him. That safety is what made intimacy possible. Here's the key insight. Emotional openness comes before physical closeness, always. When you kiss before emotional alignment, it feels empty or awkward. When you kiss after it, it feels inevitable. Epictetus taught that self-control is the highest form of power. In attraction, self-control means resisting the urge to move faster than the moment allows. That restraint is felt as maturity. I'm here to help you wake up, not comfort you. If intimacy feels inconsistent in your life, it's not because you lack chemistry. It's because you're ignoring the emotional foundation. Ask yourself this, my friend. Are you responding to her emotional state or pushing your own desire forward? If this resonates, write this in the comments. I slow down. Stay with me. You don't want to miss this. The next part reveals where trust quietly turns into desire. Number 2. The spot that builds trust. Folks, before desire ever becomes physical, trust has to settle into the body, not the mind, not words. The body decides first. There is one place of contact that does not trigger defense, does not rush arousal, and does not make her feel evaluated. That is why this spot matters more than anything else early on. It speaks directly to her nervous system and says one simple thing: you are safe here. Let's be clear, my friend. Most men go straight toward excitement. They skip the place where safety is built. And when safety is missing, her body stays alert, even if her mind is curious. That disconnect is why so many men feel close but never fully welcomed in. This spot works because it is neutral and grounding. It does not demand a reaction. It does not imply an outcome. It communicates presence without expectation. When contact happens here, her body reads it as reassurance, not pressure. And reassurance is what allows desire to unfold later without resistance. Stoicism explains this perfectly. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that the best way to influence others is to first align ourselves with nature. The body has an order. When you respect that order, you create harmony. When you violate it, you create tension in the wrong direction. Here's where men usually fail. They touch with intention that is too loaded. Even when the touch is light, the energy behind it is asking a question. Do you want more? Where is this going? What am I getting? Her body feels that question instantly and responds by tightening, sometimes subtly, sometimes completely. This spot removes the question. It says nothing needs to happen next. It allows her to exhale. And when a woman exhales around you, trust is forming whether she is aware of it or not. Epictetus taught that self-control is the foundation of freedom. Touching this way requires restraint. You must quiet the urge to escalate. You must tolerate stillness. Most men cannot sit comfortably in that space, which is exactly why this works so powerfully when you can. When trust lands in the body, everything shifts quietly. Her muscles soften, her breathing slows, her posture opens. Eye contact lingers a little longer. She starts orienting toward you instead of away. None of this is conscious, but all of it is decisive. Consistency matters here. One calm moment helps. Repeated calm moments create certainty. When she experiences you again and again as someone who does not rush, does not grab, and does not invade, her nervous system updates its expectations of you. That update is what allows intimacy to feel natural later instead of risky. Let's be honest. Men who skip this stage often believe they are being confident. In reality, they are broadcasting impatience. Confidence is not speed. Confidence is control. It is knowing you do not need to take anything right now for the moment to be meaningful. Here's the hard truth. If you cannot stay here without feeling frustrated, you are not ready for deeper intimacy anyway. This spot tests your discipline before it earns her trust. And women sense that discipline instantly. I'm not here to comfort you. I'm here to help you wake up. If you want desire without resistance, you must earn safety first. If this resonates, comment this below. I choose restraint. Stay with me, because what comes next shows how trust naturally transforms into attraction when you stop forcing the process. Number 3. Where desire starts subconsciously. Folks, desire does not begin where most men think it does. It doesn't start with touch. It doesn't start with kissing. It starts in the subconscious long before a woman is even aware she feels anything. If you miss this layer, you will always be reacting instead of leading. Let's be real, my friend. The subconscious responds to patterns, not promises. It reacts to how you make her nervous system feel, not what you say you want. This is why two men can do the same thing and get completely different reactions. One triggers comfort mixed with curiosity. The other triggers alertness. Here's a real situation. Andrew is 51. He meets Melissa, 46, at a friend's dinner in Denver. Andrew speaks calmly, doesn't rush his words, and stays fully present. He doesn't lean in too close. He doesn't pull away either. Melissa notices something subtle. Her breathing slows. She feels relaxed without knowing why. That reaction didn't come from logic. It came from her subconscious registering safety and control at the same time. Compare that with another man at the table. He jokes loudly. He leans in often. He tries to be engaging. Melissa smiles, but her body stays tense. Her subconscious picked up on unpredictability. Another example. Robert is 54. He reconnects with Julia, 48, during a walk along the waterfront in San Diego. Robert matches Julia's pace naturally. He pauses when she pauses. He speaks when it adds value and stays quiet when it doesn't. Julia later says she felt unusually drawn to him but couldn't explain why. That pull came from subconscious mirroring and emotional regulation. This is the key insight. The subconscious responds to rhythm. When your movements, tone, and pacing are steady, her body begins to sync. That synchronization is the birthplace of desire. Stoicism aligns perfectly with this. Marcus Aurelius wrote about living in accordance with nature, not forcing outcomes. Subconscious attraction is natural. When you push, it resists. When you align, it opens. Most men sabotage this by over-signaling intent. They think clarity creates comfort. Too much clarity too early creates pressure. Pressure triggers the subconscious to protect, not open. Another scenario. Kevin is 49. He meets Laura, 45, at a gallery opening in Chicago. Kevin doesn't rush intimacy. He holds eye contact, then breaks it calmly. He listens without interrupting. Laura finds herself leaning closer without realizing it. That movement came from her body responding before her mind caught up. Let's be honest, you cannot talk a woman into subconscious desire. You can only create conditions where it emerges on its own. Epictetus taught that the disciplined mind governs the undisciplined. When you regulate yourself, her subconscious relaxes. When you are reactive, it stays guarded. This is why presence matters more than words. The subconscious reads consistency, restraint, and emotional safety faster than speech. I'm here to help you wake up, not comfort you. Stop asking what to do next. Start noticing how you move, pause, and regulate yourself in the moment. Ask yourself this, my friend. Does your presence calm or stimulate anxiety? If this resonates, write this in the comments. I feel the rhythm. Stay with me, you don't want to miss this. The next part reveals how slowing her down deepens desire without force. Number 4. The kiss that slows her down. Folks, most men think intensity creates intimacy. It doesn't. Speed kills depth. The kiss that actually deepens attraction is the one that slows her nervous system down, not the one that tries to excite it too fast. Let's be clear, my friend. When a woman is rushed emotionally, her body prepares to protect, not open. Fast movements, sudden escalation, or hungry energy trigger alertness. Slowing down does the opposite. It tells her body there is no threat, no pressure, no demand. That is where real intimacy begins. This is not about technique. It is about state. A kiss that slows her down comes from your ability to regulate yourself first. Your breathing, your pacing, your presence. When you are calm, her system mirrors that calm. That mirroring creates trust, and trust allows desire to deepen instead of spike and disappear. Stoicism teaches this principle clearly. Marcus Aurelius wrote that nothing is worth doing in haste if it disrupts harmony. Intimacy is no different. When you move with restraint, you preserve harmony between two nervous systems. That harmony is felt as safety, and safety is the gateway to connection. Here is the psychological truth most men miss. Excitement alone does not create attachment. Regulation does. When her body feels steady around you, she associates you with relief from chaos. Relief is powerful. Relief is addictive. Let's be honest. Many men confuse slowing down with hesitation. They fear losing momentum. But momentum created through calm lasts longer than momentum created through intensity. Intensity burns fast. Calm builds deep. Epictetus taught that the man who controls himself is stronger than the man who conquers others. In intimacy, self-control is what allows her to surrender emotionally. When you do not rush, you show that you are not ruled by impulse. That signals maturity. Slowing her down also shifts the power dynamic in a healthy way. You are not chasing sensation. You are guiding the emotional tempo. That guidance is felt as leadership. Leadership without force creates desire without resistance. Another layer to understand is memory. Moments that feel calm, grounded, and emotionally safe imprint more strongly than moments that feel rushed. When you slow the experience, her mind records it as meaningful. Meaning creates attachment. Seneca warned that impatience reveals inner disorder. When a man rushes intimacy, he reveals anxiety beneath confidence. When he slows down, he reveals control. Control is attractive because it suggests stability. This is why doing less at the right moment does more than doing everything at once. Silence, pause, and patience communicate far more than action. They allow her to feel instead of react. I am here to help you wake up, not comfort you. If intimacy has felt inconsistent in your life, it is not because women are complicated. It is because you have been moving faster than trust can form. If you want to train this level of emotional control and stoic restraint, consistently consider joining the channel membership. That is where we go deeper into presence pacing and masculine discipline without shortcuts. If this resonates, write this in the comments. I move slowly. Stay with me. You do not want to miss what comes next. Number 5. Where safety turns intimate. Folks, intimacy does not begin with desire. It begins with safety. And this is the part most men misunderstand. They assume safety is the absence of risk. It is not. Safety is the presence of calm consistency and emotional steadiness. When safety is felt deeply enough, intimacy emerges naturally. Let's be real, my friend. A woman does not move closer because she is convinced. She moves closer because her nervous system relaxes. When she feels emotionally protected, instead of evaluated, her defenses soften. That softening is the exact moment where safety quietly turns into intimacy. Here is a real example. Paul is 53. He meets Karen, 47, through mutual friends in Portland. Paul does not rush physical closeness. He listens carefully, stays grounded, and never interrupts her emotional flow. When Karen pauses, Paul allows silence instead of filling it. Over time, Karen begins sharing more personal thoughts without being asked. What changed was not attraction first, it was safety. Contrast that with another situation. Same woman, different man. He leans in quickly, compliments early, and tries to escalate connection. Karen feels flattered but guarded. Her body stays tense. The moment never deepens. Safety was never established. Another example. Thomas is 49. He reconnects with Michelle, 45, in Atlanta. During their time together, Thomas remains emotionally consistent. He does not change his tone based on approval or disinterest. Michelle notices something unusual. She feels no pressure to impress him. That absence of pressure allows her to relax into herself. Intimacy grows because safety came first. Let's be honest. Safety is not passive. It is active restraint. It is your ability to stay regulated even when attraction is present. That regulation communicates trustworthiness without words. Stoicism aligns perfectly here. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When your inner state is calm and ordered, others feel it. That calm order is interpreted as safety. Here is where men often fail. They mistake safety for boredom. They fear that slowing down will kill attraction. In reality, rushing is what kills it. Safety gives desire room to breathe and transform. Another real situation. David is 56. He meets Elena, 49, at a charity event in San Francisco. David stays composed and attentive. He does not invade personal space. He does not escalate emotionally. Elena later tells a friend she felt unusually comfortable around him and did not know why. That comfort was the foundation of intimacy forming. Safety turns intimate when a woman feels she can relax without consequence. No pressure to perform, no fear of being rushed, no need to manage your emotions. That freedom allows desire to surface organically. Epictetus taught that peace comes from mastering what is within your control. When you control your impulses, you create peace around you. That peace is magnetic. I am here to help you wake up, not comfort you. If intimacy feels inconsistent in your life, it is because safety was never fully established. You tried to ignite desire before building emotional shelter. Ask yourself this, my friend. Do people feel calmer around you or more alert? If this resonates, write this in the comments. I create safety. Stay with me. Don't go anywhere. The next part shows how attachment quietly forms when intimacy feels effortless. Number 6. The zone that triggers attachment. Folks, attachment does not form where excitement peaks. It forms where emotional regulation settles. Most men chase intensity because they think intensity equals connection. That belief is backwards. Attachment grows in a quieter zone, one that feels steady, predictable, and emotionally contained. Let's be clear, my friend. Attachment is not obsession. It is not infatuation. It is the feeling of ease that makes someone want to return. When a woman associates you with emotional stability, her nervous system begins to bond. That bond happens beneath conscious thought. Stoic philosophy speaks directly to this. Epictetus taught that people are disturbed not by events but by their judgments about them. When your presence does not disturb her inner state, when it reduces noise instead of adding to it, attachment starts forming naturally. Calm becomes the hook. Here is the psychological truth. The mind bonds to what feels reliable under pressure. If your energy fluctuates, if you react emotionally, if you seek reassurance, her system stays alert. Alert systems do not attach. They monitor. They prepare to exit. Marcus Aurelius wrote that a steady mind is a fortress. When you embody steadiness, you become that fortress. Not controlling, not demanding, simply consistent. That consistency is rare, and rarity deepens attachment. This zone is not about silence or distance. It is about emotional neutrality. You are present without intensity, interested without urgency, warm without pressure. In this space, a woman does not feel pulled or pushed. She feels anchored. Many men think attachment is created by sharing everything or escalating closeness quickly. That creates exposure, not attachment. Attachment requires safety over time. It requires the absence of emotional volatility. Seneca warned that uncontrolled emotion weakens the soul. In attraction, uncontrolled emotion weakens connection. When you master your reactions, you allow attachment to grow without interference. Let's be honest, this zone feels boring to men who crave validation. There is no immediate payoff, no dramatic feedback. But this is where bonds form that last. This is where a woman starts to miss you, not because of excitement, but because of how she feels when she is with you. Here is another key insight. Attachment strengthens when a woman does not feel responsible for managing your emotions. When she can relax without worrying how you will react, she leans in emotionally. Responsibility kills attraction. Emotional freedom builds attachment. Stoicism calls this self-governance. You govern yourself so others do not have to. That is felt as strength. This zone also prevents burnout. Intensity burns hot and fast. Regulation burns slow and deep. When you stay regulated, connection has room to mature. When you spike emotions, you force cycles of closeness and withdrawal. I am here to help you wake up, not comfort you. Stop asking how to make her feel more. Start asking how to make the emotional environment calmer. Calm is what bonds people together. Ask yourself this, my friend. Do people feel more regulated around you or more stimulated? If this resonates, write this in the comments. I stay steady. Stay with me. You do not want to miss this. The next part shows how softness creates tension without losing control. Number 7. How softness creates tension. Folks, this is one of the hardest truths for most men to accept. Sexual tension is not created by force. It is created by restraint. The softer you are with your presence, the more tension you generate beneath the surface. That sounds backward, but it is exactly how the female nervous system works. Let's be clear, my friend. Soft does not mean weak. Soft means controlled. It means you are grounded enough to slow things down without losing direction. When a man can be gentle without apologizing for it, a woman feels something rare. She feels safety mixed with anticipation. That combination is electric. Most men rush because they are afraid of losing momentum. They talk too much. They touch too fast. They escalate because silence makes them uncomfortable. But tension is born in the pause. It lives in what you do not take. Here's a real example. Andrew is 46, calm, physically fit, emotionally steady. He meets Claire, 41, recently divorced, cautious but curious. On their third date, they sit close on a couch. Andrew does not crowd her space. His movements are slow. When he speaks, his voice stays low. When he touches her hand, it is brief and relaxed, then gone. Claire notices that he is not trying to claim anything. He is allowing the moment to breathe. What happens next is important. Claire starts leaning in. She adjusts her posture. She becomes more aware of his presence. The tension grows, not because Andrew is doing more, but because he is doing less. His softness gives her room to feel. Let's be honest. Aggression shuts down imagination. Softness activates it. When you slow your movements, soften your tone, and stay emotionally centered, her mind fills the space. She begins wondering what would happen if things went further. That wondering is desire. Stoicism teaches this principle clearly. Seneca wrote that real power is self-command. A man who controls his impulses communicates strength without needing to prove it. When you choose softness instead of urgency, you signal that you are not ruled by appetite. That is deeply attractive. Andrew did not touch Claire again for several minutes. He kept the conversation light. He stayed present. When he finally kissed her, it was slow and brief. Then he pulled back. Claire felt her body respond, but she also felt respected. That mix created tension she carried home with her. Most men misunderstand this and think softness kills momentum. It does not. It redirects momentum inward. The desire moves from your actions into her experience. That is where you want it. Another key detail is emotional softness. Andrew did not perform confidence. He allowed silence. He allowed pauses. He did not fill space with jokes or explanations. That calm, emotional openness told Claire she did not need to defend herself. When a woman feels safe, her body becomes more responsive, not less. Here's the warning. Softness only works when it comes from strength. If you soften because you are afraid to lead, she will feel that. But if you soften because you are in control, she will feel pulled. I'm here to wake you up, not comfort you. Stop confusing pressure with passion. Tension is created when you move slowly, touch lightly, and stay emotionally grounded. If this hit home, comment this below. I move with control. Stay with me. This understanding changes how intimacy unfolds from this point forward. Number 8. When intimacy feels inevitable. Folks, there is a point where intimacy stops feeling like a move you make and starts feeling like the next honest step. Not because you pushed it, but because nothing in her is resisting it anymore. That is what inevitability really is. The absence of friction. Let's be honest, my friend. Most men try to create inevitability by escalating. They rush the moment they chase the peak. They look for a signal they can cash in. But a woman does not relax into closeness because you advance the timeline. She relaxes because her nervous system has stopped scanning you as a risk. Here is the mental map. When she feels safe, she stays. When she feels safe and curious, she leans in. When she feels safe, curious, and unpressured, intimacy begins to feel natural. That is why this sign is so powerful. It tells you the foundation is already built. You will notice it in small cues. Her breathing slows when you get closer. She stops filling silences with nervous talk. Her eyes hold a beat longer. She does not flinch when the space between you closes. She is not bracing. She is choosing. And choice is the only doorway that matters. Stoicism has a clean rule here. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. In other words, control your pace, your tone, your appetite for certainty. The moment you try to control her reaction, you introduce pressure, and pressure is what makes intimacy feel unsafe. So, let's get practical. If you want intimacy to feel inevitable, you do 3 things consistently. First, you keep your energy steady. No sudden intensity, no nervous jokes to cover discomfort, no rapid shifts from friendly to hungry. Steadiness tells her this man is predictable in the best way. Second, you create space without disappearing. You end moments cleanly. You let the interaction land. You do not cling to the high point. People bond to what they can return to, not what overwhelms them. Third, you protect her dignity. You never corner her with a question that forces a yes or no. You never push for reassurance. You let her participate at her own pace because that preserves safety and builds desire. Let's be real. The fastest way to kill inevitability is to announce it. Men ruin it by labeling the moment over explaining what they feel or demanding confirmation. The second you ask, so what are we, you inject a test into the room. Tests create tension, but not the good kind. Instead, you let your presence do the work. You stay warm, but not needy. You stay engaged, but not gripping. You allow pauses. You slow your voice. You breathe. You treat closeness like something you can handle either way. That emotional composure is what makes intimacy feel safe. And when safety stays intact, intimacy starts to feel like it is already happening, not something that needs to be negotiated. I'm here to help you wake up, not comfort you. Stop chasing intensity. Build calm. Calm is what turns attraction into closeness that lasts. If this resonates, write this in the comments. I stay grounded. Stay with me, you don't want to miss this. Number 9. Why she feels claimed without words. Folks, this is where most men get confused. They think a woman feels claimed because you put a label on it, post a picture, or say you are mine. That is noisy. Real claiming is quiet. It is the emotional certainty she feels when your presence is consistent, your attention is intentional, and your behavior has a clear direction. Let's be honest, my friend. A woman does not relax into intimacy because of words. She relaxes because her nervous system stops scanning you as a risk. When she senses you are not drifting, not auditioning, and not bargaining for approval, she feels held, not owned. Held. Here is a real situation. Marcus is 52, a divorced guy in Dallas who rebuilt his life slowly. He meets Jenna, 45, smart and cautious after a messy breakup. Marcus does not rush anything. When he texts, it is simple and direct. When he plans, he follows through. When they are together, he is present and calm, not performing. He keeps eye contact, listens without interrupting, and he ends the night cleanly instead of stretching it for reassurance. Jenna notices something different. Marcus does not glance around the room for validation. He is not trying to make her jealous. He is not overly sweet one day and distant the next. He is steady. That steadiness creates a very specific feeling in her. She starts to assume continuity. She starts to feel like there is a place for her in his life without having to negotiate for it. She feels chosen without being pressured to prove she deserves it. That is what many women interpret as being claimed. It is the sense that you are choosing her on purpose, not keeping her as an option. Let's be real. Men kill this by over-explaining. They ask, "Are we good?" They seek reassurance. They try to lock certainty with talk because they cannot hold uncertainty in their own chest. The moment you need her to confirm your value, your frame collapses. Certainty cannot be chased. Stoicism has a clean lesson here. Epictetus taught that freedom comes from mastering your impulses. If you master your urge to cling, to check, to press for answers, you become emotionally stable. And emotional stability is what makes your attention feel meaningful. When your attention is rare and deliberate, it carries weight. She feels it as security, not as control. Another piece is boundaries. Marcus did not cancel his routines to prove devotion. He also did not play games. He kept his life structured and invited Jenna into it gradually. That balance tells her this man is not empty. Empty men grab. Full men choose. And here is the subtle edge in it. When she feels chosen without pressure, she stops guarding. She becomes more receptive, more relaxed, more willing to move closer on her own terms. That is the kind of closeness that lasts because it is built on safety and respect. I'm here to wake you up, not comfort you. Stop trying to claim her with language. Claim yourself with discipline, consistency, and calm direction. Then let her feel the difference. If this hit home, drop this in the comments. I choose with clarity. Stay with me because the next part will connect all of this into one way of moving that feels natural. Number 10. The kiss she remembers long after. Folks, this is where everything comes together. Not technique, not intensity, memory. The kiss she remembers is never the fastest, the deepest, or the most aggressive. It is the one that made her feel seen, chosen, and emotionally safe in the exact moment it happened. Let's be real, my friend. Women do not remember kisses because of physical sensation alone. They remember how their body felt afterward, calm, grounded, desired without being rushed. That memory is what pulls her back, weeks, months, sometimes years later. Here's a real example. Daniel is 49, emotionally disciplined recently, back into dating after a long marriage. He meets Rebecca, 44, thoughtful, cautious, drawn to depth over excitement. One evening, after a quiet dinner, they stand outside her place. Daniel doesn't lean in immediately. He pauses. He keeps eye contact. His breathing is slow. When he kisses her, it's brief, gentle, and intentional. Then he pulls back first. No grabbing, no escalation. He simply says goodnight and leaves. That kiss stays with her, not because it took something from her, but because it respected her nervous system. Rebecca feels calm afterward, not confused or overstimulated. Her body associates Daniel with emotional regulation. That is the kiss she remembers. Stoicism explains this perfectly. Marcus Aurelius wrote that self-control is strength. A man who can stop himself communicates power without force. When you choose restraint, your actions feel deliberate. That deliberateness gives weight to even the smallest moment. Most men lose this by chasing the peak. They think more intensity creates stronger memory. It doesn't. It creates saturation. What creates memory is contrast. Slow instead of fast, soft instead of forceful, leaving instead of lingering. Let's be honest, the kiss she remembers happens because you are not trying to prove anything. You are not worried about whether she wants more. You already know who you are. That certainty removes pressure from the moment. She feels free to feel. Another layer here is timing. Daniel did not kiss Rebecca when tension was highest. He kissed her when she was calm. That anchored the memory. Her body learned that closeness with him leads to emotional safety, not chaos. This is where most men misunderstand intimacy. They try to escalate desire, but what actually deepens attachment is regulation. When she feels regulated with you, her imagination fills the space. She replays the moment because it wasn't finished for her. It ended clean, open, unresolved. That unresolved quality is powerful. It invites her mind to continue the story without you pushing it forward. She remembers the way you looked at her, the pause before contact, the way you left her wanting without feeling deprived. I'm here to wake you up, not comfort you. Stop chasing unforgettable moments through intensity. Create them through control. Master your pacing. Master your exit. Master your presence. The kiss, she remembers, is the one that made her feel calm, chosen, and emotionally safe. And when you understand that, intimacy stops being something you chase and becomes something that follows you naturally. That's the difference between a moment that fades and one that stays. All right, folks, let's bring this home. Today's video showed you that intimacy isn't about rushing, forcing, or performing. It's about emotional control, timing, and presence. We broke down why connection always comes before physicality, how subtle restraint creates deeper desire, and why the moments she remembers most are the ones where she feels calm, safe, and chosen. When you understand this, intimacy stops being stressful and starts becoming natural. If you want to go deeper and learn how to apply these principles consistently in real situations, I invite you to become a channel member. Inside the membership, we go further into Stoic discipline, masculine frame, and relationship dynamics that most men never learn. If this video helped you see things more clearly, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next. New videos drop regularly, and each one builds on the last. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I appreciate you, and I'll see you again tomorrow.